Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, the show that inspires, empowers, and educates you. We talk about the art of intentional living. And each week on this show, we are live every Monday at 11 a.m. on the E360 TV network. We're also live streaming right now on YouTube and Facebook Live, both of them at I Have Today with Diane Forster. And then the show is available after the fact. If you prefer podcasts, you can go to I Have Today with Diane Forster and catch it on our podcast. And then it's streamed on all the other streaming platforms. So it's everywhere. And I wanted to have this amazing woman who I just discovered the other day on the show this week, because what she and her husband have built and are building is nothing short of extraordinary. It is so needed. It's been needed for many, 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 many years, and they are going to help millions and millions of people. Did I tease you enough? Well, I'm going to tell you in a minute. First, I'm going to tell you the name of the show. The name of our show today is Heal Your Addiction the Right Way. That'll probably give a little bit of it away. Heal your addiction the right way. And so my guest is Flora Nicholas. She's going to come on today and she's going to talk all about All Sober, what it is, how it works, why she and her husband, Paul Gator, developed it, and what makes it unique and different, and how powerful it's going to be in helping people not only through the addiction process, but all the way after into sober life. And I'm going to save all my opinions for a conversation, because she has so much to share, and I can't wait to have her on the show. So I'm just going to get to a couple of things really quick, and then we'll have Flora with us right away. So the first thing I want to do is share with you our weekly intention statement. And our intention statement is, I have today to release addictions and finally be free. I have today to release addictions and finally be free. And I want to emphasize that word free, the freedom of the feeling of not being shackled down with addiction. And addiction is a disease. It's not a choice. People think it's a choice, and it's not. Well, why don't you just not drink? Or, oh, why don't you just stop smoking? It's way deeper than that. And I'm sure Flora and I are going to talk all about that. And so it's not so easy. And there's this emphasis of so much guilt and shame associated with it. And we just want to lift the veil off of that and lift that label off. And that is what Flora and her husband, Paul, are doing with All Sober, and the amazing people who are there and available, and the communities that they're building, and the resources that they have, and all of that good stuff that she's going to share with us in just a minute. All right. So the intention statement is something that we do every week on this show. And what we do with them is on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. If you go there to my page, you're going to see this little button, and it says wallpapers right there. And if you click on that, they come up. And whatever our intention statement is, there's a beautiful graphic with it, and they're all in here. And this week's intention statement is already there. Well, why do I want you to do that? I want you to go there, and I want you to screenshot it. And I want you to save this as your screensaver for the week, so that every time you look at your phone, which is 150 times or more a day, you're going to see this intention statement. You're going to see this affirmation. And the more and more you see it, that's how we build a repetition in our subconscious mind. That's how we make changes, is through that. And we see it over and over again. We keep telling our subconscious mind it over and over again. It sees it. And then the reticular activating system in the brain goes to work to make that thing true. Just works. That's how it works. So we provide that resource for you. So go check them out. And while you're on there over at Instagram, give me a little follow if you're not following me. I would love that and appreciate that. All right. So I wanted to bring on Flora to talk about this today, and just highlight one thing that I know she's going to share, because I did a little digging, and that's, I like to read and research, and they're committed to All Sober is committed to helping the 192 million Americans who are affected by addiction. And that doesn't just mean the person addicted, that means everybody else in their surroundings. Well, I don't know if you know this statistic or not, but there's just about 332 million people living in this country, which means that 57% of the population is affected by this, which chances are you probably are. And if you're not directly affected, you certainly know someone who is, because it's over the 50% mark. So this is rampant, and we need to find solutions that really help and serve people. People should be able to get all the support that they need, and they should be able to live a life without the guilt and shame of having an addiction that they needed help and support to get over and to come through. And I can't wait for Flora to come on. She's going to come on in just a minute and share her amazing story and everything about All Sober and everything that they're doing. So just hang on for 1 second. We're going to have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back with Flora. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Hello, Flora. How are you?
Yeah, good, Diane. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to have you as well. And I can't wait for everybody to learn about you and this fabulous mission that you have, and you and Paul together. Yes, yes. But before we get into the interview, I just want to share a little bit about you with the audience, if that's okay. And it's a glasses day. So Flora started All Sober as a loved one of someone recovering from addiction after realizing that existing solutions for recovery from drug and alcohol addiction are siloed, fragmented, highly specialized, not available on the scale that the problem demands, or non-existent. She has immense knowledge of the challenges millions of individuals face throughout the recovery life cycle and how to help them and their family and friends. Before starting All Sober, Flora held executive positions at some of the world's top agencies and developed and executed multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns for 15 of the top 100 global brands. She's won numerous prestigious awards. She graduated from the University of Leeds in a degree in international history and politics, and is married to the All Sober founder, Paul Gator, and takes immense pride in her most creative productions. Her two children, Sophie and Andrew. So nice to have you.
Thank you so much, Diane.
Okay. Well, I have an advertising background too, so we have a lot in common. So this is going to be a great interview. So excited to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. So you know what? I always want to start with you. I just read a little bit about your bio, that the bio things, but tell us a little bit more about the background and what drove you to create this incredible resource for people.
So, I'm a parent, and as you know, when you're a parent, there's nothing more precious than your kids. And we went on this journey with one of our kids who struggled with addiction for 8 years, and we saw devastation everywhere. I can remember standing in a ward, in a detox ward, and the nurse came up to me and said, your loved one's really lucky. And I thought she was saying, he's really lucky that he's here and he's taken care of. And she said, no, he's the only one on the ward with insurance. He's the only one on the ward with health insurance. Everybody else on this ward doesn't have health insurance. They're all going to be out in the street tomorrow, and they have no chance. And Paul and I looked at each other at that point, and we just couldn't believe it. This is America. This should not be happening in America. And we looked at each other and thought, we've got to do something about it. This cannot happen. We don't want anybody else to go through the heartache that we've been through. And we've got to do something about it. And he looked at me and I looked at him, and we knew that we had to create a solution that would help people, whether they had health insurance or not. And it was badly needed because of all the things we witnessed as we went on this journey with our loved one.
Mm. Oh my God, it's so true. You know, the ones that need it the most, I mean, they all need it, but the ones that need it the most can't get it. Isn't that just so criminal? Okay. All right. So I want to point out what the platform, well, first tell us exactly what All Sober actually is.
Okay, so All Sober is a platform and an app. It's live now. Go to allsober.com. You can download the apps from the App Store, and it provides help and information. There's a help and it's all the things that were missing when we were going through it. Thank you, Diane. There's a help and information section. You can find all the information that you need to help you, whether your loved one's in crisis, whether your loved one's in treatment, after treatment. Think of that as WebMD for people with addiction. It's right there. There's a support group section. Support groups. When we were going through this with our loved one, we couldn't find anyone to talk to us because of the stigma and the shame. So we've created a support group section where people can go on and get support from other parents, other individuals, people in recovery, and get guidance as they go on the journey. Then there's a treatment and recovery section. We've got, I'm passionate about this, sorry. We've got
keep going.
Locator. We've got the best treatment locator in the country. You're going to be able to go on there, plug in. There's numerous filters. You're going to be able to plug in everything that you need, and it's going to show you what the best treatment centers are for you. And it even has Google ratings and Google Maps, so you'll be able to find one near you. Then there's a community section of the platform. One of the things that people say about addiction, the opposite of addiction isn't recovery. The opposite of addiction is community, because sober communities help you stay sober. When you can see other people who are sober, it inspires you to see that you can do it too. So there's a massive community section of the platform where you can build your own sober community. Then there's a relaunch section of the platform. You know, we discovered in short order that people who are addiction, many of them have had criminal convictions. Luckily not our loved one, but many of them do. So they struggle to get jobs. We've got a section there which will provide people with resources and help to get jobs, to find sober-friendly schools, articles about how to ace interviews, how to write resumes, everything you need there. Then there's the sober lifestyle section of the platform. You know, when you are in treatment, they heal the mind, body, and soul, and that's something that you are big into, right? They teach you about nutrition, about mindfulness, about health, about fitness. We've got a whole section of the platform dedicated to that. So that's going to help people. Then we've got an inspiration section. The inspiration section of the platform is filled with articles and individuals who are telling their stories about sobriety, so they can see, people can see that sobriety is possible and it is sustainable. And that section of the platform also has a host of celebrities on it telling their stories. We've got Ricky Bird, who's a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. We've got Ralph Johnson from Earth, Wind and Fire. There's all sorts of interesting people there telling their stories and inspiring people with positivity that they too can stay sober. Is that enough?
It's so comprehensive. It really covers everything. When I saw this, that's why I was like, wow, because you're right. So many of the options out there, and not to diss them, I'm not saying anything negative,
no,
but they don't, they're not providing the opportunity to take that next step or that next thing you might need, or the in tandem thing you need at the same time. You know, you might need the treatment and recovery, but you still need the group support at the same time, and you still need the community at the same time, and you know, and you want to be inspired at the same time. And so I think it's so amazing. So the 7 key sections were help and information, group support, treatment and recovery, community, relaunch, which is so big,
Yeah.
sober lifestyle, also so big, and inspiration. Because listen, I've had my addictions. I think most people have addictions. Whatever the addiction is, they might be addicted to sugar or, or Diet Coke or drugs or alcohol or smoking or whatever it is. And it's not a decision, like it's not a choice to just say, oh, just stop, just
No.
stop. There's such an individualized experience for the person, and it's on a it's deep rooted, it's body, yes, but it's a lot of mind. And so the body becomes the first mind in those, in often, and I hope this is okay that I'm saying this, this is like my interpretation of it, that the body is the first mind. So if you have a habit of drinking, let's just say this for example, like you're on your way home from work and your mouth is watering because you can't wait to get that glass of wine or something, and that glass of wine turns into a bottle of wine every night, and then that turns into more and more and more. When you stop that habit, the body is pushing to go to the thing, like it's looking for it, and it's really a mind blowing. So coming back out of recovery and relaunching is I'm so glad that you're focusing on there. I'm so glad that you're focusing so much of your resources on there, because the addict doesn't want to be an addict. I believe that. Do you believe that?
Well, addiction is a disease, first of all,
Yeah.
and we need to educate society that addiction is a disease. We would never say to somebody with cancer, "You loser, you
Right.
absolute loser, you've got cancer. What a
Mm.
bad choice you've made. You've got cancer." But society says it to people with addiction all day long, and it's got to stop. Addiction is a disease. When you get addicted, your brain chemistry changes. And when you and I hardly drink ever. I never used to, but, since anyway, when you and I have a glass of wine, right, we're not addicted. People who get addicted, the brain chemistry changes, and the brain tells you that instead of food and water, you don't need the food and water anymore. The brain's telling you that you need the alcohol or you need the
Yes.
substance. And
Yes.
it's a huge issue, as is the stigma. And I will tell you something. When we were going through this with our loved one, we couldn't get anybody to talk to us because of the stigma and the shame. And I'm going to say this
Oh.
again. We would
Mhm.
never say to people with cancer, how shameful that you got cancer, but we say it to people with addiction. And even, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, it's anonymous. And
Right.
what is happening, one of our goals is to end the stigma of addiction. And I don't know if you've had a chance to look at our Facebook page. We started a campaign to encourage people to share, to send us signs of themselves holding up how long they've been sober, and that we would celebrate them and share their stories. And we have been inundated with people
Oh.
proudly, I know it makes me want to cry every time I look at it, proudly sharing their stories, saying they're 10 months sober, 8 months sober, 18 months sober. And we're sharing it. And not only are they telling us, they're sending us the pics, the things they write make you cry. People are saying, you said at the beginning of the show about praying and freeing yourself
Yeah.
from addictions. We had one chap who sent us a picture of himself, and I think he was maybe 18 months sober, but his little message said, oh man, I'm gonna cry telling this. I went to bed at night and drunk, and I prayed that I would wake up and be free and be on the path to go to being sober. And it came to be. He woke up, he was strong, and he started his sobriety, and he's been 18 months sober. We had another chap who This is one of the other things that people with addiction suffer from. It's a lack of self-worth.
Yes.
And this chap wrote to us, and his little caption, he held up I think this is a famous celeb, actually. It's a pretty famous celeb. I think he's a hip hop artist. He held up his sign, and he had his daughter in his arms, and his message said, "You may not think you are worthy of a beautiful life, but trust me, you are." It's amazing.
Beautiful.
What's going on. We're already making a difference, and I'm so proud of it.
You are, and I'm so proud of you for doing it. And I, my world, you don't know my whole story, but anyway, I've been in this space of life and mindset coach and having my show for the past, 5-6 years. But I had a background in corporate, and I started out in the ad agency business in LA for 8 years. And then I moved to Chicago and switched to television sales. And I was married for a long time. And I was going somewhere. Oh, I know where I'm going. And so it was when I was raising my twins, who are going to be 25 years old.
Wow.
But there's so much socialization. There's so much drinking. Everything, revolves around drinking. Now, alcoholism is rampant in my family. They'll all admit it. They're all functioning alcoholics. And, we go on family reunions, and it's just drinking for a whole week. And it's, every dinner there's drinking. And so the girlfriend thing, I wasn't drinking every day, but I would drink with my girlfriends, as much as possible. And then also when I took a brief hiatus, I took a few years off to raise my babies and then went back to work. And I job shared with a woman, and she would talk every day. She couldn't wait to get home for her glass of wine. And, and I started thinking, God, that would be really nice. Well, I started that habit. I was not like a daily drinker, and I'm not a good drinker. I will tell you that. I don't know when to stop. I have to be consciously aware of that. Like, all right, this is too many. And so that habit started for a long, long time where I never did. And then I did. And so I think the numbers are actually higher, Flora. I think there's a lot of functioning alcoholism that you and I both know is contributing to the depression. And yeah.
That
So
192 million American stat came from a SAMHSA study. It's a 2018 SAMHSA study. So it's out of date. There's no more recent one. We know the numbers have gone up since COVID tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
The deaths from, the stats are astonishing. The deaths from opioid addiction last year went up 50%, I think. One American dies every 11 minutes. One American dies every day. By the time we get to the end of this interview, 3 or 4 people will have died. It's shocking. And I think those stats, you're right, they do not capture all the functioning alcoholics. They don't. And they also don't capture all those in recovery who have to sustain their recovery. So
right.
You're dead on. You're absolutely right. It's everybody. It's everybody. Everywhere we go, when people know that we're doing this, they come up and confess. Everybody. It's our fathers, mothers, sisters, daughters, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends. It's everybody. Everybody's got an issue. This is why we've created All Sober, and I encourage everyone who's listening here to get on there. If you've got an issue, get on there and get help. If you're in recovery, come and be part of our community. And if you want to proudly share your story, let us know, and we'll do that for you too.
Yes. Yeah. And actually I wanted to, go back to that story. Where I was going with this is that now all of a sudden in my world, I am around a lot of sober people, either by choice. They just don't want to drink anymore. And these are people who are leaders, influencers, people who are making a big, like you are, making a big impact in the world, like I am too. Like we have this mission that's calling us, and a lot of them, either by choice or, by circumstance, they are not, and they are sober, or they're in recovery and they're recovering. So my point is, I would say, of my collections of friends right now, I probably have more sober people around me than I do. Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. So it's interesting to think about that. And I just think I hit something, and maybe you have already on this, maybe not, maybe we just discovered something else. The lack of purpose for people, and the boredom, and the guilt and the shame, the feeling, the low self-worth, feeling not worthy, the fact that alcohol is a depressant, and we're consuming it because we think it's going to make us feel better, when it does the absolute opposite thing, needs to be illuminated too. So it's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah. I love that the app is free. I love that anybody can, or the platform is free.
And the apps.
And the app, yeah. No discrimination. So anybody could go there and just check it out. I downloaded it when I found it, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm going to check it out. It's really cool. And there's a lot of great stuff on here. So anybody, we're going to have information in just a few minutes all about Flora. All right. So, what is the so tell the story about when you first presented it to the head of addiction treatment at one of the hospitals in DC. What was the response?
Oh yeah, that was a defining moment, actually. So Paul and I, after we decided we needed to do something about it, and this is where our advertising training comes in. Our advertising training is to track the customer journey, as we say, right? You know all about that, right? And to viewers who are listening in, what that means is to understand how to deliver something to somebody in need, you need to understand the entire journey they go on. And in our case, it was the journey from addiction right through to recovery. So we sat down one morning with Brits, put the kettle on, made a cup of tea, and we plotted out the 7 pillars. We knew that we had to have help and advice section. We knew we had to have a group section. We knew we had to have a community section. We knew we had to have a treatment section. We knew we had to have a relaunch section, a sober lifestyle section, and an inspiration section. And Paul, who is a brilliant designer and a brilliant conceptual thinker, built a version of the platform on Wix. And he loaded content in there, and he made it look really like the real thing. And we got input from people in recovery, people who are addicted, parents, counselors, psychiatrists, treatment center people, I mean, all sorts of people. And we wanted to test it out with a real pro. And so we went to Virginia Hospital Center, and we met with their head of addiction, who was a lady called Laurie Howardson-Byrne. Laurie, if you're out there, this is for you. And we showed her the Wix platform, and Laurie cried when she saw it. And she said, I've been waiting 17 years for somebody to step up and do something like this. It's amazing. And wow. We knew at that point that when you have somebody of her credentials telling you you've hit it out of the park, you know you've done the right thing, and you know that you're going to be able to build something that's going to make a massive difference in the lives of millions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's been your biggest challenge in all of this?
There have been a number of challenges.
Okay.
We've had to go and raise lots of money to enable us to do this. And I will tell you guys, everybody who has invested in All Sober has addiction in their families or amongst their friends and wanted to make a difference. On our first investor call, I think way back when, there were about 20 or 30 people on it. And by the time they got to me and Paul, I was having trouble holding it together, because they were saying, I'm here because of my mother, my brother, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, my grandfather, my friend, my husband, my wife, and on it went, my son, my daughter. And it's been so inspiring to be powered by people who are so close to the issue. Ditto, hiring everybody at All Sober the same. Everybody works at All Sober the same. Everybody has a connection to the issue. So there's this massive energy every day to do something about it and to make a difference. One of the challenges that we've had has been ramping quickly to meet the need. We know people are out there and they need us, and we've been raising money constantly to allow us to develop the platform and get it as good as it can be and get it out there, because we know the numbers went through the roof during COVID. We know they're still going through the roof. So that's been the challenge. Get it out there quickly because people need it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna find out how can we help?
Wow. Well, the platform is free, Diane. I would share it far and wide. It's here. It's a fantastic resource for people. Make sure as many people as you can know about it. If you've got people who want to tell their stories, send them to us. If you've got corporations that want to get involved, get involved. This affects millions of people at corporations who are not sober friendly in most cases. Come and talk to us. We'll help you. If you've got artists that send them our way. Let them tell their stories on the platform. We want to create one giant community to service everybody who needs help and make it the best version of All Sober it can possibly be.
Yeah. I love that. That is beautiful. And I think there's a huge emphasis on the youth too, and I mean, obviously it's all ages, it affects all ages, but the youth, to get them to understand this young, would really just powerfully impact their lives in a positive way.
It's a big issue in high schools at the moment. Kids are getting Adderall like candy. It's been doled out like candy, and that's got to stop. And that's fueling a massive Adderall addiction. And I don't know how we're going to get on top of the opioid addiction, but trust me, the Adderall addiction is going to be just as bad.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole of what's happening. I think a lot of it, I believe a lot of it is, obviously everything that's going on in the world, all the news that's around, everything that's available. Everybody has instant access to everything. It's stressful. It's makes you feel bad about yourself. It makes you feel hopeless in this world. There's video games, these gaming addictions that happen with these young men. It's women too, but these young men that now they can't even differentiate reality. Well, their subconscious can't, what's real from what's not. And just like this massive snowballing effect of so many things that our poor youth are going through. And this is the world that they're living in. Even my kids who are 24, I told you they're going to be 25. They have not had what they would consider like normalcy in their adult life since they left for college. You know what I mean? Because of everything that happened politically, just so much has happened. And then the pandemic, and then, more and more and more. And my daughter actually broke down and cried. And she said, "Mom, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it."
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, really difficult. So the fact that you have a place that's supportive, and there's community, and there's resources, and there's love and acceptance, unconditional acceptance. You're not judged. Yeah, you're not judged here. No way.
Love and acceptance. Love and acceptance. We don't discriminate. You are a hero for getting sober. My loved one is a hero for getting sober. It's one of the greatest achievements of his life. Come and be part of it. Be positive. We're going to shower you with love. We're going to shower you with acceptance. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing at all.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I just have a couple more questions. So, one of the questions I ask all my guests is, well, two things with this question. The first is, how do you live the I have today way, like intentionally in the present moment?
I get up every day and I try and make a difference every single day. You know,
Mm,
I don't want to kind of, we don't know how long we're going to be here. You
yes.
know, everybody can make a difference. I think I had, said to you in some of the answers we sent through, Paul and I were two people standing in a detox ward. And when we saw what was before us, we knew we had to do something. And I think I think we have a purpose every day and a passion every day to make a difference. And that's how we live.
Yeah. I believe that too. I believe you got to find your passion and purpose. I think that's your number one responsibility in the human experience is what am I passionate about? What drives me? Because look at how it fuels you and what you've been able to create so far. And you just like on the tip of the iceberg of what's going to be happening. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Okay. And then one other thing, now this is you're going to get blindsided here, but that's okay. Yeah,
That's
you're going
fine.
to rock it. Um, is we collect intention statements. So, like our intention statement today was, I have today to release addictions and finally be free. Sorry, I put my notes all the way over here. I don't know why I did that.
That's a great
um,
intention statement.
uh, yeah, isn't that a great one?
It's a
I have
great
today.
intent. We can have that on the platform. Diane,
Oh,
send it to me. You should come and
oh,
be on the platform, create a page on the platform. We will share your content. That is to release it. I mean, it's just perfect. It's perfect.
that you're making me cry. I
Perfect.
would be honored. I would be honored to do that.
Come,
Oh my God. That was
come.
beautiful. Now I got all cry face. Okay, but what I was going to ask you is if you, what we do is we collect them from our guests. So if you could say your intention statement and start it with, I have today too, and then fill in the blank.
I have today.
Wait 1 second. Hey, Cherry, spotlight Flora. I want her to be spotlit. Nope. Not me, her. Can she do
Okay.
it? I guess she can't. All right.
Well,
That's all right. Okay.
I have today to make a difference in the lives of the 192 million Americans who are impacted by addiction. And I
Mm,
will.
mm, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, you will. You are well on your way. You are well on your way. All right. Is there any final piece of, anything else you want to share with the audience?
I think we pretty much covered everything. I would encourage people to kind of spread the word, get on the platform, get on the app. It's a fantastic resource and it's free. And just come and be part of it. Come and help us. And, if you're a corporation, come and talk to us. If you're an association, come and talk to us. If you're a sports team, come and talk to us. If you're a celeb, come and get involved. If you're a writer, a contributor, you want to give us your content, come. If you're ordinary people, normal people, no one's ordinary, actually, no one.
No.
Come and get on the platform. We can help you. We can help your family. We can help your loved ones. That's why we're
Oh,
here.
that's so beautiful. Well, I have plenty of content for you. Plenty that is
Okay.
really going to help them during and after and to maintain that. So that would be my honor. And I'm so honored that you asked that of me. Okay, well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to show the links right now for your website and social media. So for more information, go to www.allsober.com. And then the Facebook page is also called All Sober. That's ALLSOBER if you're listening to the podcast. And Instagram is all_sober. Okay. Oh my God. I'm so grateful that I got to meet you. And
Thank you,
thank you
Diane.
for
So,
thank you so much for being on the show. My best to Paul and your children and everything that's going on. And we'll be in touch. We'll definitely connect offline
for
and make
sure,
that happen.
for
Yeah.
sure. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Diane. It was a pleasure to be on and so lovely to meet you. Take
Oh,
care
thank
now.
you. Thank
All
you.
the
All
best.
righty.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Oh, she's incredible. That was beautifully emotional show. And it's serious, you guys. This is a serious, serious issue. And it's time to wake up and it's time to be proactive. It's time to be self-empowered. If not, for you, for your loved ones, who's ever impacted the 192 million, and as we both said, probably more than that in this country, now have resources available to them. And I'll tell you, I went on the app and I downloaded it. I was checking it out and I just said, it said, centers near me, put in my zip code, and one popped right up, like immediately available access. So if you're listening to this and you feel like you're in crisis, or you might be teetering and you're wondering, what can I do? This is what you should do. You should make the first step is to take the action. And then from that action, allow the support to come in. Know that you're going to be, as we said, loved unconditionally and supported unconditionally. And so if you or anyone you know needs this, please share it. If this resonated with you today, also please share it, because that helps me and my audience grow. We help to spread the word about I Have Today, my show, and then, of course, All Sober. So that was an incredible interview. All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to talk about upcoming things that I have today, because we have some exciting things that I have today going on. Hang on one second. Nope, turn that off. Hang on one second. I think I just answered my phone. No, I didn't. Okay. Blooper moment. All right. So what's going on at I Have Today? Let me share what some things that are going on here. Well, first of all, I'm hosting a live virtual event called TV Star Intensive on July 26th, where for one day, I am going to teach you everything you know to launch and host your own TV show. Have you ever thought about hosting your own show? Perhaps a TV show. It could be a podcast. It could be it could be a show on YouTube. It could be on Facebook Live. It could be on any of the social media platforms that are free live now, right now. So if this is something that you've thought about doing, this is the event for you, especially if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're an expert, maybe you're an author, maybe you've got a new book out, or you have a book out and you want to get your message out to a much larger audience, and you want to do it by having your own platform. There has never been a better time. The landscape of television has changed dramatically. There are so many streaming platforms out there, and there's so many content providers looking for good content. So if this is something you're curious about, then I invite you to come and spend the day with me, this one-day virtual event. You don't even need to leave the comfort of your own home. And I'm telling you, for less than the price of you and your partner going out to a nice dinner, you can have this experience where you're going to walk away with the blueprint of exactly what you need to do. I'm going to cover it all. We're going to cover the STAR methodology and what that means, and then everything you need to know in terms of creating the show, both visually, the pre-production, the production, and the post-production. So that is at tvstaracademy.com/intensive. tvstaracademy.com/intensive. So check it out. It's coming up super quick and it's limited seating. We only have a few seats left. So don't delay. If this is something that you want to do, now is your time. All right. So make sure that you check that out. Okay. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to end the show with our mantra meditation. And this is something that we do every single week. We like to incorporate what our guest came on and talked about, our expert, and then what we do here at I Have Today. And remember, we're always being intentional. Living your life with intention means that your life comes from you. It doesn't happen to you. You can control a lot of the things when you allow your life to come from you. Have it come from you. Otherwise, you're always responding and reacting to things. And so being intentional, we want to make sure that every time you're here, every time you come to our show, you're going to be inspired. You're going to be empowered. You're going to get educated. You're going to be a little entertained. And you're going to leave this show feeling better at the end of it than you did at the beginning of it. That is my intention for you every single episode. And so what the mantra meditation will do is it'll allow you to just take what we've talked about today and carry it with you, carry it forward. And this is how we create positive change in our lives, you guys. By doing this kind of work that I'm doing right now, offering this kind of content to you, you being here, listening and watching it, and the positivity and this, we call it 1% better here. This positivity and momentum starts to build on it. And that's how you create momentum. And that's how you create lasting, permanent, positive change. So with that, what we're going to do is we are going to put our feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your lap. You can face them down or turn them up if you feel like you need more energy. Obviously, if you're driving, you can't do this right now. Don't close your eyes, but you can still participate. You can still listen to the words. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you this breathing method. And this is so powerful. I hope you use this in your life more than just today. I hope this becomes part of something that you do all the time because it is incredibly healing. It's in my first book, I Have Today. It's called the Rainbow Breath Meditation. And so what I want you to do is I want you to breathe in. It's called 4884. Okay? 4884. And what that means is you're going to breathe in for 4 seconds. You're going to hold it for 8 seconds as you're lighting up your chakras. I'll talk about that in a second. And then 8 is you breathe it out for 8 seconds like you're blowing out birthday candles. And we do it 4 times. Do that in your life every day. 4884. The way I'm going to teach you right now, you will be amazed at how good you feel. You will be amazed at how issues in your body just all of a sudden start dissipating and going away. It's so powerful. So what we're going to do when we breathe in for 4, for the first count of 4, we're going to breathe in. And I want you to imagine that you're breathing in the midst of a rainbow. You know how a rainbow is cloudy and see-through, but it's all the colors of a rainbow, right? Well, I want you to breathe it in because our chakras are the same colors. So your root chakra is at the base. Then right in below your belly button is your sacral chakra. Your belly button area is your solar plexus in the middle. Your heart is obviously in your heart. Your throat, your third eye is between your 2 eyebrows, just a little bit above that line, like at the base of your forehead. Then your crown chakra is at the top of your head. And then a very important one is your soul star. And that is about, a foot to 2 above your head. And that color is white. So the colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, white. Right. And so we're going to count and send the energy of that breath. And it's just going to light up those chakras and heal it. And these chakras are connected to everything in your body. That's why it's so powerful. It's so nice that I have a minute to talk about this. I usually don't get to share this much. I hope you guys are enjoying this. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. And then when you're blowing it out, I want you to blow it out like you're blowing out birthday candles. I want your abdomen, your diaphragm area to feel like a deflated balloon. And what you're visualizing when you're blowing it out like birthday candles is that every toxic memory, cell, energy is coming out like you're blowing it out. I imagine it like it's smoky soot. That's my imagery for it. Just get it out, get it out. So what we'll do is we'll do that 2 times. It'll feel really good. And then just listen to the words. Okay, here we go. All right, close your eyes. All right, breathe in that rainbow mist for 4. Hold it for 4. Now light up each one of your chakras. Your red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, white. Now blow it out for 8. Oh my God, that feels so good. All right, we're going to do that one more time. You ready? Breathe in for 4, that mist to the rainbow. Blow it all the way down to your root chakra. Light up your root chakra, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, soul star. Breathe it out. Getting rid of all that toxicity. Now just listen to the words. I have today loved my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles big and small, I notice them all. Yes, 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 thank you. I have today to release addictions and finally be free. I can let go of what no longer is holding me back. The stigma, the guilt, the shame, the feelings of low self-worth, the need for something that's just not serving me. I have today to ask for the help and support that I need, knowing that addiction is a disease and it takes hold of us, but we can change it and we can release it and we can be free. We can surround ourselves with people who love us unconditionally, support us with no judgment, and only want the best for us. They thrive in seeing me thrive. They thrive in seeing you thrive. They thrive by helping other people, especially and including myself. All the people that I know and I love who need that support too. There's no shame in it, and the problem's gone on long enough. And so now there's a resource to help through every stage of everything that I'm going through, from the emotional breakdown, the depression, the start of the addiction, breaking free of it, community, actually recovering, and then what comes next, life after that, sober life. And then the inspiration that I'm going to cling to know that all I have is today. This is all I have. And I want to live this life feeling the best I can feel. I want to live with passion and purpose. I want to follow my mission, even though I might not know what it is. I'm eager and willing to find out what it is. And I want to live 1% better each and every day, the I have today way. I'm going to be intentional in my life. I'm going to live to my highest, greatest, fullest potential and no longer let things that hold me down and push me back, weigh on me, stop me from progressing, be a part of my experience anymore. I am done. I am going to live fearlessly, honestly, authentically, with courage and bravery. And I'm going to live in unconditional love of myself first, because I now know that's where it all starts. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can open your eyes. Thank you so much for being here. I want to thank my guest, Flora Nicholas, and her amazing work that she's doing with her husband, Paul Gator. All sober, you guys. Go check it out. Spread the word. I want everyone to be sharing this with at least 10 people. at least 10 people, let them know about this, because that's how we make a powerful impact in the world. And that's how you can help. So thank you so much. Make sure you follow me on my website, dianeforster.com. Go there and subscribe to my newsletters and my information, because I pump out content constantly that motivates and inspires you. That's the place I'm going to direct you today. Just go to my website and subscribe. All the information there is totally free and available for you. And you'll find resources, blogs, you'll find information on the TV show, on the podcast, as well as some of my programs. And then you'll get your daily and weekly motivation and inspiration from me. All right. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you madly, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Have a beautiful today.